the committee and a team of examiners for a doctoral promotion defense of Faculty of Mathematics and Science Education, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, will enter the room. Please be seated. The defense chief is invited to open the defense.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. May peace be upon us all. The doctoral promotion defense of Lilit Rusyati is hereby open. The battle may usher the promopenda into the defense room. Lilit Rusyati, after reading your letter of application and scrutinizing the requirement for doctoral promotion defense in today doctoral promotion defense, Friday, 3rd February 2023, question and objection will be provided for your dissertation entitled Strategies for Building Student Meta-Affective and Metacognitive in Science Learning. Are you ready to commence this defense?
Inshallah, I'm ready.
Okay, thank you. Before the expose, the promoters are invited to convey opinion and viewpoint of the promovenda's dissertation. To Professor Nuryani Rustaman, time is yours.
Thank you very much. Academic accountability of Lilit Rusyati, student ID 190699, in the final exam of dissertation on Friday, 3rd of February 2023. As directed by the promoter team, Nuryani Rustaman, Prof. Dr. Phil Widodo, M.Ed, Prof. Minsu Ph.D. from Division of Science Education, Kangwon National University, Republic of Korea, allow me to deliver academic accountability on behalf of the promoter team for Lilit Rusyati's promovendus dissertation, Strategies for Building Students Meta-Affective and Metacognitive in Science Learning, while praising and thanking Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for being there. The defense for the final dissertation examination is a follow-up to first exam session on Wednesday, January 25th, 2023 at Faculty of Math and Science Education, UPI. Previously, promovendus had completed all stages of doctoral education as prescribed by Faculty of Math and Science Education, UPI. Based on the requirement that have been met, The promoter team decided to submit promovendus before the assembly for the final exam of this dissertation. Before that, let us first state the promotional background. Lilit Rusyati was born in Pangandaran, West Java, on April 20, 1987, from Bapak Poniran and Ibu Bagini. She got married to Irfan Muslim Nurjaman ST and has two daughters, Hulia Azahra and Haura Azalia, and resides in Bandung City. Her studies at Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia included bachelor degree in biology education from 2005 to 2009, master's degree in science education from 2010 to 2012, and doctoral degree in science education from 2019. Her teaching experience began as a biology teacher in senior high school in Bandung from 2010 to 2012, as well as at several tutoring institutions in Bandung City. In 2012, the International Program on Science Education, Faculty of Math and Science Education at UPI, accepted her as a civil servant lecturer. She currently belongs to the Australasian Science Education Research Association, ASERA, and the Indonesian Science Educators Association, PPII. In addition, she is also module writer and instructor for the Teacher Professional Program, PPG, in the field of science since 2018. The urgency of research and dissertation writing. Metacognitive, or connected to metacognition knowledge, is knowledge about thinking, according to Harrison and Valin, 2018. Metacognitive has important role in learning, namely to enhance students' memory, overcome learning difficulties, monitor their learning while taking practice tests and laboratory activity, dramatically enhances self-monitoring, note-taking, and comprehension during learning. In addition, critical thinking skills and metacognitive skills had a strong link. The meta-affective tendencies associated with feelings that students experience when preparing for class, emotion control can change the feelings. An emotional path where immersion predicted presence and good emotions. The emotion might influence the intrinsic cognitive load, and emotion management is the goal of learning. Metacognitive relates to meta-affective, and meta-affective relates to transformative competencies. These competencies are places where students can collaborate to create a learning compass that demonstrates how young people might navigate their lives and the world. Students have the competencies of creating new values, reconciling tensions and dilemmas, and taking responsibility. The reality is that students' metacognitive skills are still lacking, specifically their monitoring and evaluating skills. The metacognitive skills of the students in grade 7 to 11 were all rated as being very low. Research findings on scientific attitudes and metacognitive skills in Indonesia learning processes are still comparatively low. According to research conducted in senior high schools, students' metacognitive skills were rated as being below average. When composing descriptive tests, high school students showed poor metacognitive knowledge and regulation. Indonesian high school students' attitude were still relatively low. Her Lilit Rusyati findings show that male and female students have low-level ability in managing their angry feelings. Based on the result of the bibliometric analysis, which show metacognitive training and meta-affective training are still not focused on student in learning, especially in science subject, and are supported by preliminary research that shows the correlation between students' meta-affective and metacognitive is significant with a strong value. The implementation of the strategy can be done in training sessions, but unfortunately, there is still little metacognitive and meta-affective training for students, especially in science learning. If anything, they are still separated by themselves, focusing on metacognitive or meta-affective processes, even though the two are strongly related. This research, which combine meta-affective and metacognitive into one complete training, is the novelty in this study. Dissertation academic quality. The dissertation submitted by promovendus according to the promoter team's assessment shows novelty and provides benefits for improving the quality of education for students. Throughout her research, specifically related to the topic of this dissertation, promovendus has shown her scientific attitude by publishing her findings through various scientific seminars and writing articles. The results of the preliminary and main research have been published in 11 articles, 2 articles in 2021 and 4 articles in 2022. The research results have also been presented at 3 international seminars in Indonesia and Malaysia, and additionally, 2 international seminars and 1 national seminar gave the research honors to her as the best presenter. Due to various efforts made to maintain the responses for various parties regarding the results of research, the promoter team believes that the dissertation compiled by promovendus has originality and enriching references for improving the quality of science learning. The distinguished chairman of the doctoral promotion session, the team of examiners, and members of the dissertation final exam session, based on the important matters that we have put forward, the team of promoters is of the opinion that this dissertation deserves to be accepted and tested in an authoritative dissertation examination session. Thus, the promoter team submitted promovendus to be tested and assessed. Finally, we, the promoter team, would like to thank you for the honor and trust given to us to supervise promovendus. Bandung, February 3rd, 2023, promoter team.
Thank you, Prof. Rustaman. Now we would like to invite Promovenda to present and expose for about 15 minutes. Lilit Rusyati, please.
Thank you. Please allow me to share screen. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Allahumma sholli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Rabbi jidni ilman warzuqni fahman. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. To Honorable Professor Dr. Tatang Herman M.Ed as the Chief of this Thesis Defense. To Honorable Professor Dr. Ida Kaniawati M.Si as the Expert Examiner. To Honorable Dr. Diana Rochintaniawati M.Ed as the Expert Examiner. To Honorable Professor Dr. Nuryani Rustaman M.Pd as the Supervisor. To Honorable Professor Dr. Widodo M.Ed as the Supervisor. To Honorable Professor Minsu Ph.D. as the Supervisor. My name is Lilit Rusyati with the student's ID 1906999 from Science Education Study Program, Faculty of Mathematics and Science Education, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia. In these occasions, I would like share about the research results with the title Strategies for Building Students Meta-Affective and Meta-Cognitive in Science Learning. The first one, please come to the background. The starting point we can see from the importance of the meta-affective and meta-cognitive. The meta-cognitive can enhance students' memory and then dramatically enhance self-monitoring and critical thinking skills. For meta-affective, emotions control can change the feelings and influence intrinsic cognitive load. But nowadays, we can see students' meta-cognitive skills are still lacking, specifically for the monitoring and evaluating skills. And for the students' attitude, were still relatively low. Both male and female students have a low ability in managing their angry feelings. And based on the previous research, we can see the individualist training focusing only on metacognitive or meta-affective. But another preliminary study says that the correlations between students' meta-affective and metacognitive is significant with strong value. Furthermore, based on the bibliometric analysis by using Hazings, Publish, or Paris, and PostViewer with a database from Google Scholar for 10 years of research from 2010 up to 2020, we have 5 keywords. The first one, meta-affective, meta-cognitive, meta-affective training, meta-cognitive training, and the last, transformative competencies. And this is the example from the results. The first one, meta-affective training, we can find 415 papers, and meta-cognitive training, 999 papers. And to sum up, meta-affective skill, meta-affective awareness, and then meta-affective strategy, and meta-affective reflections go a long way with learning, teaching, and coursework. And meta-cognitive training focuses on schizophrenia, but both memory and achievement exist in these results. So for the research novelty, we can combine meta-affective and meta-cognitive strategies into one training unit and then support the transformative competencies. This is referred to OECD Learning Framework for 2030. And this research involves all levels in junior high school, 7, 8, and 9 grades. For the research problem, how effective is meta-affective and meta-cognitive based training for achieving the students' meta-affective, meta-cognitive, and transformative competencies in science learning? This research problem breaks down into 3 research questions. Is there a difference of meta-affective, meta-cognitive, and transformative competencies in groups of students who are given separate training and integrated training in meta-affective and meta-cognitive strategies? For the research objective to analyze the effectiveness of meta-affective and meta-cognitive based training for achieving the students' meta-affective, meta-cognitive, and transformative competencies in science learning. There are 4 for the limitation problem. The first one, but the type of the training, there are 2 types of the training. The name is integrated, and the second one, spread training. For the meta-affective, this research belongs to two dimensions. The first one, affective awareness, and the second one, affective regulations. For the metacognitive, belongs to two dimensions, cognitions and regulations, and knowledge of cognitions, knowledge of cognitions and knowledge of regulations. And the last, about the transformative competencies, there are three competencies. This is belong to OECD framework for 2030 educations. Number one, creating new value. Number two, reconciling tensions and dilemmas. And the number three, taking responsibility. For the research methodology, we use mixed methods specifically by using embedded design. This is gathered simultaneously or sequentially quantitative and qualitative data. For the participants, there are 10 students. This is the combinations between 7, 8, and 9 student grades. And then for the sampling, this is convenient sampling, non-random sampling methods based on the availability and willingness to participate in this study and who are conveniently available and reachable at the time. For the science topic, this is did not specialize in one area of the science study. This is adhere to school standard and the implementation and syllabus. And also this is based on the approval and willingness of the principals and teacher to involve this research. So in the research period, there are 3 topics. The first one, force for the 7th grade, like an optic for 8th grade, and soil for 9th grade. For the research instrument, we have 3 research instruments. The first one, questionnaire of meta-affective. The second one, questionnaire of meta-cognitive. And the last one, questionnaire of transformative competencies. Before we come to the real experiment, we have already done by using expert judgment and also student testing for the questionnaire of meta-affective and meta-cognitive by using 634 students for 7 provinces in Indonesia. This is from 17 cities. And for the questionnaire of transformative competencies, we have already judgment by expert and also testing by student. 445 students from 9 cities from 5 provinces in Indonesia. And the testing, we can analyze by using Winstep-Rush model and IBM SPSS statistic 25. So we can see 3 types of the reliability. The first one, person's reliability. The second one, item reliability. And the last one, Crombie alpha. And based on analysis, we can say all questionnaire in acceptable category because the reliability index more than 0.8 as the high value. And for the research procedure, for the qual before interventions, we do survey of the students. And then for the quant pre-measure, pretest by using questionnaires. For the interventions, meta-affective and meta-cognitive based training. For the integrated, that means students receive training by using assistance by teacher. And for the spread training, students implement independently. For the qual during interventions, student feeling, learning, and emotions journal. For the quant measure, post-test by using questionnaire. Qual after interventions, teacher interview, and interpretation based on the qual result by using IBM SPSS statistic 25 for the quantitative data and for the triangulation for the qualitative data. And for the quantitative data, by using questionnaire. For the qualitative data, students journal, teacher interview, and learning video. And this is the research procedure. There are 9 meetings for the research procedure. The first one, meeting 1 for the integrated and separate. This is teacher training for the integrated training for the meeting 1. For the spread training, student training by researcher. And for meeting 2, teacher training by researcher. And for the meeting 3, pretest for both groups. Meeting 4 up to 7, this is for the conducting the research, science learning based on meta-affective and meta-cognitive strategy, section 1 up to section 4. And during the research period, students feel the learning and emotions journal. Meeting 8, post-test, and the meeting 9, student verifications by researcher, teachers interview by researcher in integrated training, and student verifications by researcher in spread training. And let's elaborate in meeting 1 and meeting 2. In meeting 1, in integrated training, this is the researcher give the seminar or training to teacher how to implement students meta-affective and meta-cognitive in science learning. For the spread training, students training by researcher. Researcher give the overview about meta-affective and meta-cognitive and how to implement the meta-affective and meta-cognitive during science learning. For meeting 2 in integrated training, this is the discussions or sharing session with the lesson plan. And lesson plan by using 10 strategies of meta-affective and 10 strategies of meta-cognitive. For the results, there are 3 big ideas of the result. The first one, the effect of integrated training and spread training on students' meta-affective. Based on the statistical testing, the results show not significant difference. Both integrated and spread training did not have a significantly different impact on students' meta-affective. There are 4 factor analysis. The first one, the training has not sufficiently developed students' meta-affective. Meta-affective takes a long time to develop. Number 3, students are unfamiliar with the use of the meta-affective strategies in learning. Students face the challenge of self-regulations. But we can see based on the average score or mean, we can see spread training group is better than integrated training group. This is related with the independent learner. Number 2, the effect on students' metacognitive. Both integrated and spread training did not have significantly different impact on students' meta-affective. There are 3 factor analysis. Number 1, metacognitive development requires time. Number 2, the instruction has not sufficiently increased students' metacognitive capacity. Number 3, self-control is struggle for students. Based on mean, this is different with the previous. Both integrated and spread training improve students' metacognitive. This is we can analyze based on the integrated training, predominance of cognitive instructions and assessment, and spread training, the easy with which student can identify and control. And the last, about the students' transformative competencies. In line with the previous, both integrated and spread training did not have a significantly different impact on students' transformative competencies. There are 3 factor analysis. Number 1, the training did not emphasize altering mindset. Number 2, self-reflective change has not taken over in training. And the last, training has not yet included shared experience or practice, merely knowledge and regulations based on students' perspectives. Based on the average score or mean, this is in line with the students' meta-affective. Spread training group is better than an integrated training group. For the qualitative data supporter, we have 3 qualitative data sources: student journals, teacher interviews, and learning videos. And 3 sources has already analyzed by 3 angulations. This is for the look for a double check source for informations. And we can see in here, for example, write down 3 key ideas from these relations. One group say relate with the science content, but another group says what they're feeling. So that means this fact can prove meta-affective and meta-cognitive strategies have reached students. And this is furthermore can add by teacher interview. The teacher feels more connected to the students, allow the teacher to understand and adjust the way to material is delivered so that students are not bored and overburdened. And the teacher know more about student interest in learning and how student learning. Okay. Based on the statistical testing, there is no difference. So we can follow up by analysis. The first one by using mean square or MNSQ. There are 2 item measure and person measure. This is to ensure the item can assess by using indicator and person to check the student involved in this study really gave a serious response. And the results say that all the item used and the student involved in this study are in the good category because the range of the in-fit and out-fit MNSQ 0.5 up to 1.5. And for the student pattern, we can see increase and stagnant and decrease based on the average post and pre-test. And we can see based on this table, the integrated group did not see as much value growth as the spread training group did. And further evidence demonstrates that students can train their meta-affective and meta-cognitive skill independently. This is related with the peer relationship. And one more for the follow-up analysis, we have already group-based trajectory modeling or GBTM by using R software. This is to determine which students were affected by the interventions. And this analysis used by CRIM-CV in our software, whose function is to categorize response into several groups. And this based on analysis by using our software, we can see in here, there are 5 groups as the classifications based on the pre and post from 3 variables. The first one, student who have no significant change. And the second one, student who experience a slight decrease. And number 3, group number 3, large decrease. Number 4, slight increase. And number 5, large increase. So for the conclusions, meta-affective and meta-cognitive based training provides little effectiveness for developing students' meta-affective, meta-cognitive, and transformative competencies, even though the statistical tests show that integrated and spread training did not have a significantly different impact on students' meta-affective, meta-cognitive, and transformative competencies. Improvements were still seen for each training group in different dimensions. For further research, we can give the recommendations. Number 1, science teachers should keep including indicators of meta-affective and meta-cognitive strategies in their lesson plan. Conduct extended workshop with the participating science instructor, especially incorporating a teaching simulations or peer teaching with the insertion of indicators of meta-affective and meta-cognitive strategies. This research design include testing on students' conceptual understanding of the science issue being studied. And this is for the publication and achievement. There are 11 articles and 3 honors or award as the best presentations, best presenter, and best paper. Thank you so much for the time, and I would like invite the recommendations and
Thank you.
suggestions.
Thank you. It is important to be noticed that the provided time for the question and answer for this session for each examiner is about 10 minutes. Well, we would like to invite Dr. Diana Rochintaniawati to pose question and objection. Dr. Diana, time is yours.
Thank you very much, Chief Doctoral Defense Prof. Tatang Herman, for giving me the opportunity to ask the questions. But first of all, I would like to say congratulations for Promofinda, Ms. Lilit Rusyati,
Thank you.
for the doctoral degree final examinations.
Thank you. Thank you so
Um,
much.
Okay, I would like to ask several questions regarding to your dissertations. And the first questions is, as we know that the characteristic of the dissertations is the novelty. So I would like you to elaborate in your study, in which aspect that do you have, we can find the novelty? Is it in your results or in your methodology or in your theory that you use in your study? Is it directly answered or just pose all the questions?
Maybe directly answer.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Dr. Diana, as the questions. The questions relate with the novelty. Which part in my dissertation can show the novelty? Based on our analysis before, we can say our research novelty, we can find out based on the method specifically based on our treatment, The treatment is combinations between meta-affective and meta-cognitive strategies into one unit training, because in the previous research, the training only focus on meta-cognitive or only focus on meta-affective. And this is supported by our preliminary study. We have already conducted the survey to junior high school in Bandung, and then share the questionnaire related with the meta-affective and meta-cognitive analyzed by SPSS, and shows the strongly relationship between meta-affective and meta-cognitive. So we can say, but the training in one complete training, so meta-affective and meta-cognitive is our novelty. Thank you.
Okay, I may say that your integrative and separated training build all together with these 3 skill, yeah, the meta-affective and meta-cognitive and meta
Transformative competencies.
Okay, right. And then the next question is, I believe that you use 2 strategy here. integrated and separated. And I believe also that you encounter some problems or challenges.
Mhm.
Is the challenges are similar with the two strategies or different? And what is the main obstacle that you find in your doing the study?
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Dr. Diani, for the second questions. The questions relate with the challenge or main obstacle when we conduct the research specifically for integrated and spread training. For our research durations, actually during in pandemic, in online learning, and this is the early sessions in pandemic, in the lockdown, and so teacher and student need more adaptability to adapt skill to online learning. So I would like say the main challenge about the online learning strategy, how the teacher share in integrated, how teacher share the strategy only by using online, not face to face. Whether based on the literature review, whether when teacher train but relate with the feelings and cognitive, whether when face to face.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So the online is the main obstacle, yeah?
Yes.
So
yes.
it's mostly for the integrative.
For the integrated.
Yeah, for
And-
the integrative.
And for the spread training, that's related with the how researcher can check the implementation from the student, because for the spread training, student independently implement their strategy related to meta-affective and meta-cognitive by themselves, and researcher will be see. This is hard to researcher to see directly. So researcher help to teacher to see the student progress relate with their implementations in meta-affective and meta-cognitive.
So in separate,
Mhm.
also you check the progress of your students with
Sure.
this competency with online.
Yes, for online learning. And another one, the main strategy, I, as the researcher, check the progress from the student, how they progress to implement meta-affective and meta-cognitive by seeing they respond in Google Form about the emotions and learning journals. So this is my main strategy for me.
Maybe that's why it's the result is not too different between integrative and separated, because like meta-affective needs feelings, yeah. So the
Yes.
feelings of the teachers and the student is not connecting when it's online.
Yeah.
Okay, you believe that if it's doing is in offline, it would be better. The results would be better. What the strategy?
Okay.
In the strategy is similar when you're doing the offline, or yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for the questions. This is related with the further research. This is also my curiosity, how if our strategy implement to fully offline learning, because based on our literature review need face to face. So I guess probably better than online learning, because teacher can interact directly to student to confirm which strategy that you have already done, which strategy that you need help from teacher. And for the spread, researcher can check the progress directly. So based on 10 strategies of meta-affective, 10 strategies of meta-cognitive, which strategy that you feel hard to implement? So I guess better, Miss Dr. Diana, for the
Okay, thank
offline.
you. And the last questions is, since you also mentioning about the role of peers here, yeah, that's you said that there is a relationship between peers and the improvement of meta-affective, meta-cognitive, and meta-competency. So would you like to explain or to elaborate how these peers can improve these competencies?
Okay, thank you so much, Mrs. Dr. Diana, for the questions. That's relate with the peer relationship. We can say peer relationship, that's mean in line with the how student can share their feelings, their cognitive condition to peer, because this is in line with the their willingness to share with the same age, and then they can open their feeling and their cognitive. But maybe we can say for the teacher, student feel some not confidence, or this is hard to share with teacher, afraid to share about the feeling, because for the emotion journal and learning journal that can be analyzed, they can share freely.
Okay.
So I am, as the researcher, can see, because they think to write, and then teacher no see about the information, so they feel freely, and they say sometimes they feel bored when teacher only share the knowledge. They say some about the maybe about the emotions.
So who suggests to share with the peers? Is it a teacher or a researcher?
Okay, for the this is belong to previous research. This is belong to previous research, because our results show spread training rather than integrated training, even though statistical testing is not different, but based on the average or mean, and then based on a trajectory, we say separate better than integrated. So we can search what's the previous research result, and say the previous research say this relate with the good effect about peer relationship in junior high school, and also that's relate with the independent learner and autonomous learner. So we can say, to sum up, junior high school, they can train their feelings and their cognitive by themselves.
So can I conclude that the interview from the teachers that makes not make good effect to the student, so that let them do themselves.
Okay. For the questions related with the integrated, this is for the teacher help. This is related with the integrated. Even though the research results based on the mean and the another analysis I spread better than integrated, but we can also the another benefit from integrated training. The another benefit from integrated training that's related with the conditions of the student. Sometimes they say they need teacher. They need teacher to check their feelings and to boost their emotions, emotions. And another one from the teacher's view. For the teacher's view, teachers say the meta-affective and meta-cognitive strategies that's good for teacher, because teacher can feel more closely to student, and teacher can check, oh yeah, this part we can see this student feel boring but the teaching. So even though the separate better than integrated, but we can get the another benefit from the integrated, because the student need teacher checking for the feeling and cognitive.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, that's so. Prof. Tatang, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Dr.
Thank you
Diana.
very much, Dr. Diana Rochintaniawati. Now we would like to invite Professor Ida Kaniawati to pose question or maybe objection. Prof. Kaniawati, please.
Thank you for the Chief of Doctoral Defense. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Congratulations for promovender
Thank
Ibu Lilit Rusyati for achieving this doctoral defense.
Thank you so much, Professor.
The first question about your research is very interesting, because about the strategies for building a student meta-affective and metacognitive in science learning. Based on your preliminary research that shows the correlation between a student meta-affective and metacognitive is significant with a strong value. But this research, which combine meta-affective and meta-cognitive into one complete training. This is the novelty for your study. How about your clarification based on your research result? The results show about the show is the not significant different impact of on student meta-affective, metacognitive, and transformative competencies. Why not so significant, and what factors influence their metacognitive and meta affective and transfer competitive based on learning activities?
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Dr. Ida, for the questions. With the factor analysis, why the results give not significant difference between separate and integrated training, even though our preliminary study give the strongly relationship of significant. We have already analyzed based on the another research related with the meta-affective and meta-cognitive. And to sum up, the number one, the main is about the long time, Professor. So we need not only once give the treatment.
Okay.
We need not only once treatment, but the training, but we need to clarify after, for example, 3 months later or 1 semester. And also the another research in university level has already compiled the meta-affective, and they clarify to student 1 year later. Okay, so this this is my feedback. This is the research feedback for me for the future research, how to conduct the meta-affective not only once in treatment, but several treatment, and we need clarify and re-give the training to student.
Okay, thank you. The second question about the improvement, still seeing each training group is different dimensions. Give some implementation, some explanation how the given strategies has a different influence for this dimension. Like, how can you conclude the result has the implication that combining integrated and spared training is better to facilitate a student. Metacognitive, especially to essential element of metacognitive are knowledge of cognition and regulation of cognition. Can you explain about that?
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Ida, for the second question that's related with the dimensions of our research variable. The first one about the students meta-affective, we have 2 dimensions, affective knowledge, and also the second one about the awareness. But the metacognitive, there are 2 dimensions, knowledge of cognitions and regulations of cognitions. To sum up, 2 skills, affective and metacognitive, comes from the first one comes from knowledge. So how students know and can identify their feeling and their cognitive, because the cognitions relate with the how students think about their thinking. So student can aware about the what's the conditions, what's the best conditions relate with the feeling, my feeling when I would like finish my, for example, my report for laboratory activity, for example. So why we try to combine 2 strategies, because and also for the experience for student, the student says that they sometimes feeling about the not confidence when they come to the science test or laboratory test, and then so they lose their cognitive. So this is the important how 2 dimension can combine. The first one about the knowledge, and the second one about the awareness and regulations. Hopefully student now can identify their their feelings and their cognitive, and then they can construct what's the best strategy to keep my good emotions, to keep my good cognitive, so we can success in science, hopefully. So this is the end of our training. So student aware and about their feelings and cognitive, but success in science.
Okay,
Professor.
thank you for the end. The end of my question about your analyze at the table for 25 student learning journal on how to become an active listener in learning. There is interested to be analyzed. Each student is the integrated and smart training has unique method. Can you explain about the unique method? What kind?
Thank you.
Unique,
Thank you so
method?
much
Yes.
for the questions, Professor Ida. This related with the table 4.25 in page 186. This related with the students' learning journal on how to become an active listener
Yes.
in learning. And
Yes.
this is very interesting because this is our research period in the starting point of the pandemic.
Yes.
The early sessions of online learning, they try to use Google Meet or Zoom and then try to adapt with the teachers' conditions with the different place. And this actually, this is surprisingly, we can find out from this journal, student give the tips, give the strategy. They can listen to another music while teacher explanations.
Oh.
And another one, the importance of the share screen from the teacher, because students say that in this journal, when teachers share screen about the science material, they can focus. But if no screen, they feel boring because only see the face from the teacher. And another one, share screen is very important. Another one, not only share screen, students say interactions by asking question by teacher. That's very important because students say this is one kind of the strategy how to be the active listener. When teacher asks or share or deliver the questions, student try to answer. So there are two communication way. And another one, the last is about the how student can feel their their feeling based on teachers, based on the teacher. So when teacher give the motivations, when teacher give the spirit in the morning session, for example, in online learning, their support also, feel the same with the teacher. So that's very important. How we as the teacher gain from the student the tip or the strategy from the student to be the active listener, because this is for the online and also we can use also for the offline learning. This is the result, Professor.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the head of the.
Thank you very much, Prof. Kaniawati. Now we would like to invite Professor Minsu from Korea National University of Education to pose question or maybe objection. Prof. Minsu, time is yours.
Hello, Prof. Nice to meet you.
First of all, I'm very congratulate your successful defense and the research, and so I think it's very good. My question is about the instrument that you used. So you used the two instruments and several instruments developed by someone else. I know those are very good instruments and have shown many the evidence of the validity of the instrument. But I don't. Maybe you have found shortcomings or some problem of the instrument, even though those are very good. But actually, it was developed by someone else, and in the different countries. So, do you have any idea about the problem or shortcomings or disadvantages of using those instruments for your study, or for your study with the Indonesian student? And if you have such an idea, then do you have the plan or idea to develop the new instrument to measure student meta-affective or student metacognition? So actually, I may, as you know, I have been developing the instrument of the meta cognition with my students. So maybe you may have your own idea about the instrument. So yeah, that is my the question for you. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Ha. This the clarifications about the instrument. So actually, all instrument relate with the questionnaires. That's different questionnaires. Questionnaire for assessing meta-affective, questionnaire for assessing metacognitive, and the last questionnaire for assessing transformative competencies. Specifically relate with the meta-affectives and metacognitives. How about the shortcoming and also how to develop for the future research? So based on our experience, Prof, in our research, students say that's the too many indicators or too many statement. So they try not focus, but what's the statement, because in the early of the research we have two types of the response. The first one about the frequency and intensity, and they students say this is too many indicators. So maybe hopefully for further research we can eliminate some indicators and choosing by what should be the main indicator to gain students meta-affective and metacognitive. Thank you, Prof.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Okay, that's finished. All your question.
Prof, is there any recommendations or question for me?
Oh yeah, no, that's all. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Thank you,
Oh.
thank you so much, Professor
Okay.
Ha.
Thank you very much to Professor Minsu for your presence in this doctoral promotion defense. We really appreciate that. Thanks. And now we are going to invite Professor Dr. Widodo to pose question or maybe objection. Please, Prof. Ari.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much, Prof. Herman. I think this is a very good research. It should be set up a new benchmark for research at our education program at UBI. Not many people addressing metacognitive or meta-affective. That's a very difficult research, and I congratulate you for this research. And the timing of when the research was conducted was at the beginning of the COVID pandemic. And that time people are really nervous, worry about all those things and safety and so on and so on. Do you think that if we conduct the research now, when the people are, feel not so under pressure of the COVID, do you think that we will have a different results?
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Ari. The questions about how if we conduct our strategies related with the meta-affective and metacognitive can do in nowadays, because nowadays is still a pandemic, still with the COVID, but we can feel not worry about the COVID. So I guess hopefully that's the results better than the early of the pandemic, because student can focus only strategies of the meta-affective and metacognitive not worry about the another condition about the environmental about the COVID. So I guess better results, Professor.
Okay, good. So I think it's a good start for you to, there are plenty of area of research that you can do after this exam. And secondly, the teachers, we never prepared our teachers to teach, meta-affective or meta-cognitive in the classroom. We don't have any our curriculum. Do you think if teachers are prepared with that, they can guide or help students better?
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Ari, for the questions related with the how we make sure teacher insert the strategies meta-affective and meta-cognitive in learning sections. So for the answer is we can do because meta-cognitive based on our clarification with the teacher cognitions or meta-cognitive, this can be implemented in the science learning, but for the affective, even though they write in the lesson plan but the affective, because in our government we have 3 dimensions to assess affective, cognitive, and psychomotor. But even the teacher write down in lesson plan about the affective, teacher did not teach by using affective strategies, and this research can accompany teacher how use the affective strategy, and this is to be make fair for student. Teacher train on teach by using affective, and then teacher assess students affective.
Thank you very much. So actually, you have many. Your research opened up a new area of research. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Ari.
Thank you, Prof. Widodo. You'd like to invite Professor Dr. Nuryani Rustaman to pose question or objection. Please, Prof. Rustaman.
Thank you very much. Ms. Lilit, would you like to take later?
Thank you. Later.
Okay. Well, I would like to have some question for you. Maybe you can share with me about the metacognitive. About the metacognitive, yeah. According to Bloom revision, metacognitive is a knowledge, knowledge dimension. While according to new taxonomy by Marzano, it's a competency. But here, I would like to know whose framework you take for the metacognitive first.
Thank you so much, Professor Nuryani, for the questions. The questions relate with the main indicator or main dimensions of metacognitive that used in this research. Because based on the previous search, we can see based on the Bloom, metacognitive relate with the knowledge of dimensions or dimension of knowledge. And for the Marzano, but the competencies. For this research, using a prior source from Flavel, and they say for the metacognitive divided into dimensions. The first one, knowledge of the cognitions that belong to Bloom, and the second one, regulations of cognitions. That's related with the skill, Mr. Marzano. So our research can elaborate 2 dimensions in one package.
Yeah.
So we can guide students to know from the knowledge, to know their cognitive from their knowledge. And then after know, they can regulate about the cognitive strategy. So they can success in science learning.
So finally, we can find the one framework for knowledge and competency. Yeah, actually, according to Bloom revision, it's only knowledge dimension, whereas for Marzano, it's competence and even system. Yeah, metacognitive system. Now, I would like to know more about meta-affective. What do you mean by meta-affective? Whose framework you take for the instruments?
Okay. For this instrument, thank you so much for the question, Professor Nuryani. This is related with the meta-affective. Meta-affective in this research, this is the combination based on several research, and to sum up, based on the newest research by researcher, the name is Kirbulut. They try to develop the meta-affective by using two dimensions. The first one, knowledge of affective, and also awareness. So for the meta-affective, this relate with the how they can identify their feeling by knowledge about the affective, and after they know but their feeling and their conditions relate with the internal support in their body, and then they can regulate. So this is very important because science not only theory. Science should be in practice in the laboratory activity and need performance test for the laboratory. And sometimes students hard to conduct performance because the nervous and they lost their cognitive how think, but use the several materials or several tools. And so this is very important for how students know their feelings and manage their feeling.
Yes, about the transformative competencies, that's relate. There are three aspects: creating new value, the reconciling the tension and dilemmas, and taking responsibility. So, according to your opinion, if we compare with education for sustainable development, what aspect is closely related to the ESD?
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor Nuryani, for the questions that's related with the students' transformative competencies. This research belong to OECD framework. OECD framework for education and skill in future in 2030, and they also support about the ESD for the education for sustainable development, and they try to make a framework. The name is learning compass. So how student can try to find out three competencies. The first one about the creating new value. This is very important because relate with the creativity. Because in sustainable for the sustainable in nowadays, student support by new technology, so they can adapt for the creating new value. For the reconciling tensions and dilemmas, this is very important also. How the OECD support student can improve their relationship, not only in one city or one country. So they try to make how if we come to the different characteristic in another country, so they can solve what's to be the dilemmas. And the last one about the taking responsibility, and this is also very important for nowadays, because for nowadays for industry, for example, ask responsibility how they can solve the problem in industry, and they can create new value for the new industry. So I can say three competencies can support all three competencies can support about the sustainable development.
I'm very interested with adaptability. Adaptability is one competencies from 8 competencies for education for sustainable development. So adaptability is very important. So not only creativity but adaptability. And last question about taking responsibility, I think is quite related to what you mentioned in the background about that the student can their lives can manage their life and the world. So they taking responsibility is very important for young generation. Yeah,
Yes.
not only foya or something like that, but taking responsibility, adaptability is very important. Yeah, and later I would like to share with you. You can continue your research whether in IPSE or even in the faculty. Maybe all of us need your research result. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Nuryani.
Thank you very much, Prof. Nuryani Rustaman. To Professor Min Suha, if you have another agenda, it's okay for you to leave this meeting. But if you still have a comment for Lilit dissertation, please.
Yeah, I don't have any other recommendation. I think that's very good enough. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. As all examiners have posed question and objection, the doctoral promotion defense is temporarily adjourned to allow the committee to an examiner to conclude this result of the defense. The better my answer to propaganda to have recess. Okay, the doctoral promotion defense will continue. The better my answer to propaganda into the defense room. Ms. Lilit Rusyati, M.Pd, after the committee and doctoral promotion defense of the Faculty of Mathematics and Science Education, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, examining the content of the dissertation and following the entire process of this defense, we have concluded that you have effectively defended your dissertation. Hence, we have decided to award your Doctor of Education degree in the field of natural science education with final grades point cum laude. Dr. Lilit Rusyati, M.Pd, on behalf of Committee of Doctoral Promotion Defense of Faculty Mathematics and Science Education, Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia, we would like to congratulate it to the new degree as bestow a proof of graduation which become your rights. And please accept your congratulations from us. Ya, congratulations, selamat Lilit ya. Now we would like to invite the promoters to represent, to share some advice for approximately 5 minutes. Prof. Rustaman, please.
Thank you, Prof. Tatang. Dr. Lilit Rusyati, M.Pd yang sangat terpelajar. Yeah. This is the very enjoyable time for me to declare that we are very happy, we are very proud. Kenapa ya?
Suara anak kita.
This is the very enjoyable time for me to declare that we are very proud of you and happy having you as our staff or colleague in Faculty of Mathematics and Science Education, especially in International Program on Science Education. Mr. Nurjaman Allow me to say how lucky you are having Lilit as your mother's children. Yeah, I know Lilit a long time ago, since 2009. Yeah. As the only child of in the family, Lilit is not spoiled. She is very independent, self-confidence, a little bit shy, and but sometimes stubborn. I know him is very calm and very productive. She is hard worker, and since her study in master's or magister's degree, her interest on assessment has led her to continue and extend her study on students' critical thinking in the framework of INS, funded by UPI and etc., and supervise her IPSE students about assessments. I'm looking forward to seeing her achievement professorships in near future. So I hope other students from 2019 will have the examination not too far from Lilit, yeah, because Lilit with her two small children can overcome every constraint, even take her children to daycare. I know her. She is very hardworking. So, but still productive. So other 2019 students from science education study program, I hope all of you will follow Lilit and others to complete your studies as soon as possible. I think that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you for Prof. Rustaman. We would like also to invite Dr. Lilit Rusyati M.Pd as new doctorate to deliver briefly impression. Please, Dr. Lilit.
Thank you so much, Professor Herman. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam. Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin. 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 Thank you so much for Professor Dr. Nuryani Rustaman. Thank you so much to be the outstanding supervisor. Thank you. Thank you for your kindness. And then hopefully Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala with guarantee with his blessing. Thank you so much, Professor Ari Widodo, Ph.D, M.Ed. Thank you so much to be the outstanding supervisor. Thank you very much for the supporting. Thank you. Hopefully Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will guarantee with his blessing. Thank you so much, Professor Ha. Thank you. Thank you. Actually, I have a script in Korean. I would like try because this is already validated by a Korean lecturer, my college. So I would like try by using Korean. Gyudongan mani dowa jusigo, chido hai juso kamsahamnida. Hai gyosim tak buno manen gosul bigo non maneku kerkaze mamuriha su iso sumida. Kamsahamnida. Kamsahamnida. Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you so much, Professor Nahadi and Dr. Diana Rochintaniawati as the expert reviewer. Thank you so much for Professor Dr. Ida Kaniawati Thank you so much for Dr. Hajah Diana Rochintaniawati, M.Ed, as the expert examiner. Thank you very much for the support to me. Thank you so much for the chief of the FMIPA, Professor Dr. Tatang Herman, M.Ed, as the chief, as a dean of this faculty. Thank you so much for the vice dean. Thank you so much for the sections head of the FMIPA of the Faculty of Mathematics and Science Education. Thank you so much for the Ministry of Research and Technology for the scholarship. Thank you so much for the rector and vice rector of UP. Thank you so much for the head of the science education, Dr. Riandi M.Si, as the previous head, and also Professor Dr. Ida Kaniawati M.Si for the current chief. Thank you so much for Dr. Eka Cahayapurnama. Thank you so much for the Ms. Rika as the chief of the IPSI. Thank you so much for the principal, staff, and students of SMP Al-Jar Sifabudi Parahyangan. Thank you with the online Zoom. And also thank you so much for the SMP Laboratorium Percontohan UPI Cibiru. Great science teacher, namely Gita Ayuwan dari SPD, Nela Roswati SPD, Siti Aulia Rahma SPD, Sophie Setiawati Maulida SPD, Safari Hadatul Aisy SPD, Noval Rabah Wahidin SPD, and Nur Sinta Ratnawulan SPD as the research team. Thank you so much, the team from Kangwon National University, Republic of Korea, Miss Park Anju, Ph.D., Dr. Prof, Yustika Sambandari, M.Ed, Ayin Nur Lailasari Rusmana, M.Ed, Rahmi Kurota Aini, M.Ed, and Sarah Meilani Fadila, SPD. Thank you so much for my best teacher at SD Negeri 3 Babakan, SMP Negeri 2 Pangandaran, and SMA Negeri 1 Pangandaran. Best lecturer at the Bachelor Degree of Biology Education, Master and Doctoral Degree of Science Education. Thank you so much for being such fantastic teachers and lecturers. Thank you so much for Professor Sri Rejek. Thank you so much in Zoom. Thank you so much for the many insightful knowledge in science education. Thank you so much. And for the IPSC family, thank you so much, Miss Diana, Mr. Ari, Prof. Yayan, Miss Rika, Miss Eli, Sir Nanang, Sir Eka, Miss Resik, Miss Dea, Dr. Maji, Sir Ik in online meeting. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for my beloved student, IPSC from in here. You can see in online Zoom, IPSC 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. Thank you so much for your support. And for the 14 schools in 7 provinces that's involved in instrument testing, thank you so much for willingness to conduct the instrument testing in my research. Thank you so much for principal, teachers, staff, and students of SMA Negeri 3 Bandung. After graduating my college, this is my first job as a teacher. Therefore, I want to thank you for giving me to change to work as the biology teacher. Thank you so much. In here in a Zoom meeting. Best friends in science education, doctoral program class of 2019. Thank you very much for being a family that strengthens, motivates, and help each other. So please keep moving and keep in touch for our friends in 2019. And also, my husband, my parents-in-law, my brother and sister, and all relatives. Thank you so much for being the co-pairs that guides me. All of you are my inspiration to reach great highest, and my comfort when I constantly falter. May Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala guarantee it with His blessing. And all parties that cannot mention one by one, and for all supporting, and also in Zoom meeting. Thank you so much for all with come to Zoom meeting and support and give prayer to me. Thank you. Alhamdulillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lilit Rusyati, M.Pd. By praising and thanking Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, I declare the doctoral promotion defense of Faculty of Mathematics and Science Education Universitas Pendidikan Indonesia has been completed and should be concluded by saying Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
We would like to We would like to invite Dr. Lilit Rusyati, M.Pd, to participate in a photo session with the examiners, including Professor Minsu. Even though Professor Kim Soha is present virtually, we hope that Professor can join in the photo session. Check. Okay, we would like to invite Dr. Lilit Rusyati, M.Pd, to participate in a photo session with the examiners, including Professor Min Suha. And even though Professor Kim Suha is present virtually, we hope that Professor can join us in the photo session. Think we continue without Professor Min Suha. Is that okay? Okay. Okay, on my count. Ready, Bapak Ibu? Okay, on my count. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Second picture. 1, 2, 3. Once more. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Okay, now we would like to invite the family of Dr. Lilit Rusyati, M.Pd, or representatives to come forward to receive congratulations from the committee and the examiners. Silakan Bapak Ibu dari keluarga Bu Lilit. Cek. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our occasion. We would like to thank to all examiners, especially for Professor Min Soha from Kangwon National University, who has present virtually on the Zoom. We also congratulate Dr. Lilit Rusyati, M.Pd, for the new title. And also, we would like to say thank you so much for the audiences on the auditorium. Thank you for coming here. And have a pleasant day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.